This week, we give terrible advice to terrible questions, cynicism about YouTube channels, Instagram drama, and Animal Crossing gripes. Also, Annette gets attacked by a series of insects, one after the other. So, gather around the internet campfire, everyone, because it's episode 5 of Let's Regroup. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Let's Regroup, the podcast where we get off topic, but we'll get there eventually. I'm your host, Casey, and today I have me some 4 guests. Recording on location with me today is Rolls.
Hello.
And we also have Dave.
Coming to you from a location somewhere in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, okay. We also have Annette.
East Coast.
And Jess.
Podcast.
Oh, alright. I thought you were going to say, like, mid-coast or something like that.
That's not even a coast.
It's not, but you could say it is.
It's a coast now, I guess.
Sure, let's go with
Wouldn't
that.
that basically just be an island?
You're an island.
Are you calling me fat?
No, what?
You read it.
We're off to some hot takes here already, and we're like 2 minutes in.
I don't even think
Fantastic.
we're 2 minutes in.
Probably not.
While we're spitting out hot takes, birds are not real.
Oh,
Birds.
yeah. Right,
They don't
exactly.
exist.
You can't disprove it. You can't disprove it. It's like, you guys know about last Tuesdayism?
What?
What?
You can't
Go on.
prove, you cannot prove that the universe did not start last Tuesday.
What?
You know?
Okay.
I mean, in a metaphysical sense, you can. But
Nope, can't do it. You can't logically disprove the negative, and that's why people suck.
That's a mathematical fallacy.
Well, listen, nobody had to say it was perfect. It's the internet,
Yeah.
where anybody can say what they want.
Going back to the bird thing, you can prove that birds exist.
Try me.
Hang on.
The
Okay.
reason
Also,
why we
I
all have
have
these
posted-
four-
Pandemic.
I posted a GIF in the general. This is how I feel right now.
It's a gif of a very confused woman and several
I'm still trying to get over the last Tuesdays and
equations.
thing.
The
Oh
last
yeah, that's
what?
a thing.
Like,
The last Tuesdayism.
Oh.
Idea.
what did I have for breakfast last Tuesday?
See?
Guys.
You can't disprove it.
Guys,
But which Tuesday is last Tuesday? The previous Tuesday that we just had, or the one before that? Because we're still in this week.
Yes. Yeah, baby, grip it and rip it. That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
Wise quality diet. Or
Oh
kind of
man,
difference.
drink that sweet, fresh stuff.
is this how it's going to be?
That's right, baby.
Because if this is how it's going to be, hold on.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
I am taking off my headphones,
Oh no.
and I'm walking away from the microphone.
Is this just what it's like? Was last week a fluke?
Why? Do you think last week was a great episode?
No, it was just very like chill and discussion.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Oh,
no,
man,
no,
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That sweet crack. Oh man, that's some good stuff right there.
Jess,
There
I think
is-
something may have happened last Tuesday that caused this mess, but we can't prove it.
It was the universe being created, apparently.
Apparently.
Well, I mean, Rolls and I have been recording videos for Let's Play channel all afternoon, and it's made us become silly.
You're
Oh
silly.
yeah. So,
You're just over there like, yeah. Yeah, that's how it is.
This is where we're at.
And that's okay. I also feel like a lot of people are going stir crazy.
I mean, I certainly have been. How are you guys feeling?
Currently sitting here without a shirt on, drinking a beer. So I am
Me too.
cloud 9.
All right.
I'm just ready for everything to be over with. I'm so exhausted with all the regulations. I know we need it, and I'll continue to do it, especially at my jobs, but I've been fortunate to be able to work the whole time, so I'm not going crazy with that. But
Yep, it hasn't
being
really
able to sit
changed.
down in a restaurant again.
Yeah. See, like, I work in a school, and I think I mentioned this on another podcast, where I worked at my new job for one day, and then they shut down all the schools, and that was March, and I'm sad.
Jesus.
Like, I know people hear the word school, and they're like, nope, don't want to think about those days anymore. But, I mean, I love it. I love working in schools.
School wasn't a bad time.
It was okay for me. I
It kind of
survived.
sucked.
I feel like your mileage may vary when it comes to schools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were an outcast, but then you also didn't fit in with the outcast.
Mm.
You were kind of like in between. That's when it was awful.
Oh, yeah. I was able to click up with the stoner metalhead punk kids.
That doesn't surprise me.
Surprise.
And it's the same still.
Was Bowling for Soup song, High School Never Ends.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Ain't that the truth?
Reese
What kind of
Witherspoon's the
what kind of
prom
soup
queen.
were they bowling for?
Chowder.
Chowder?
They're still a band. They're still together, which is pretty great.
I wonder if you were to ask them what kind of soup they like, what they would say.
I don't know.
Do you think they get that question like 50 times a day?
I'd imagine.
That could be. Let's
Just like
check
how
their
everybody asks Billy if they want to wake him up when September ends.
Which
Twitter.
is
Oh, right.
rude.
Yep. Because that was about his dad dying.
Oh,
Ooh.
now I feel bad, and I didn't even ask that question.
That's
Yep.
The worst has to be, I forget, Daryl, I forget his last name, but Hootie from Hootie and the Blowfish.
Oh, Darius Rucker.
Yeah, Darius Rucker. Why did I think of Daryl?
I don't know.
But that's hilarious.
The Dolphins make him cry.
Is that the actual
The
lyric?
sound was pretty good.
Yes, it is, because he's talking about the football team.
That's what I assumed, but part of me was like refusing to accept that was actually
He
what
only
it was
wants to
about.
be with you.
Exactly.
Do you think people ask Outcast what's cooler than cool?
Well, I don't know about you, but I think it might. Wait, let me check my watch. Let me check my notes. I think it might be ice cold.
Cold.
All right.
You used to watch that before high school. Remember when MTV played music on their channel?
Nope.
Okay.
Yep.
It's like yearly divide.
That's quite boomer of you, Rolls.
No, trust me, they were getting away from it. Just in the morning before they put on their riveting programming of
Teen Mom.
pregnant teenagers.
Listen, man.
Yeah, and
When you're like drunk at 4 a.m., Teen Mom slaps a lot harder.
You think
I thought about Jersey Shore.
if they changed what the M stands for, what would it stand for?
marital misguidance.
Meaning.
Marijuana. Is what
There
I thought
you
you were
go.
going to say.
No, they hate Mary Jane over there. They hate the good Kush.
The
They're
devil's
constantly
grass.
They're the kids. They're the kids who pretend they smoke weed, but they don't smoke weed.
No, but like if you ever watch MTV for an extended period of time, they always have like every single commercial break is like, we can be the generation that ends vaping.
Mm.
And like, that's fine and all. You can be the generation that ends vaping. But you don't have to shove it down our throats.
Aren't Generation that
Well,
created vaping?
Yes.
Listen,
Yeah.
as long as vaping is a meme, you're not going to be able to take it down. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen.
I like the one. It was like the old Truth commercials from former smokers with
Oh,
the
yeah.
windpipe larynx, like insertion and all that stuff.
Lovely
Yeah, like
stomas.
people with the stomas.
Yeah. It's like this. I think she was supposed to be like a 17 or 18-year-old girl. She's talking about the dangers of vaping. Like, I didn't think I would get hooked, but I did. And she's like talking. I swear to God, it's a real commercial. It's supposed to be like this teenage girl. It's like, I didn't think I would get addicted.
And
I was just doing it to be cool.
There's this one, I have to find this and put it in the links because it's so goofy. So, you know how, like, especially TikTok is, like, known for, like, hey guys, here's the newest challenge for you guys to try and do. MTV tried to do a similar thing, or at least that Truth campaign tried to do a thing where it's like, show us the most extreme ways that you ditch your vape. And it's like a fat dude with a vape taped to his stomach, belly flopping into a pool.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
There's one where they like attach them to fireworks and set them off. It's the wildest thing you've ever seen.
Send us your epic gamer moments of you getting rid of your food.
Smash that like button.
Don't forget to ring the bell.
Ring the bell, ring the bell, ring the bell, ring the
What was
bell.
that Funhouse that did it? The pro gamer tip: be sure to record yourself punching slabs of meat so that you don't hear your mom getting beaten by your dad tonight.
Oh no!
What?
Use the song as story.
I like to think that's like juxtaposed with actual tips. Like, make sure you use the drown or like the disable noise function on Audacity, so you don't have so much background noise. Also, make sure you slap meat with a hose so it doesn't sound like
These are like Skyrim loading screen tips.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Go into my Audacity here and maybe. So what was this trick you were telling me, Casey?
Hold on. Effect. Noise reduction. That's the one. That's the one I'm going to use to drown out this incredibly chugging air conditioner in the background. It's going to be great. We'll see.
Aha.
He's a good boy. He's doing his job.
Yeah. I've been doing this for a long time. I know what I'm about, son.
Taking the L for the team. Thank you, Casey.
You're welcome. This is what I do for you guys. I remove noise.
And I added.
Noise.
Well, that's what you're here for, Dave. Adding noise.
Precisely.
Well, here, let me lay something on you right now.
News at 11.
Gonna go to some Reddit boards. Gonna see what they have in store. Gonna offer some sage advice. Hopefully we get it right. Unexperts. Hey guys, it's Unexperts. This is a podcast within a podcast where we take advice questions that we find on Reddit and try to answer them as best we can. I hope you guys like that theme song.
What?
Threw on
Why do I feel like I'm in a Tim Heideck sketch right now?
Like I said, we were recording earlier and we got silly, and this is the silliness that's come out of it. I worked very hard on that theme song, by the way.
I was
Did
going to
you
be
practice
really
it?
impressed if you improv that.
Welcome to my show.
Welcome to my gaming channel, games you love.
Or
Anyway.
games you hate.
Well, this time around we got some questions to answer, and I really wish I could find this one, but I only have the question that's asked and no details involved, but I can at least paraphrase. So let's open with this one, guys. Let's try and come up with a solution to this person's problem. My mom enjoys being mistaken for my girlfriend/wife.
Oh.
Basically, this guy's having a problem with, like, his mom thinks it's really flattering when she gets mistaken for his girlfriend/wife, but he finds it particularly creepy, and what can he do to make her stop, even though he's asked her several times, and she's like, no, it's fine.
So I want that man to hold on to that feeling. Because he is the normal one in this situation. Oh my god, what the hell is the mom doing?
She's feeling good about being complimented that she looks so young she could be his wife.
But she could also be a cougar.
But dude,
Yeah.
dude. Dude, that... I don't know, man. That strikes some, like, incest chords hardcore.
Yeah.
I'm not here for it.
The cost isn't with a reward.
I think he should really set some boundaries. Just because she's his mother doesn't mean she can do whatever she wants.
Here's what I think you should do. He needs to try and find a real nice makeup artist and try and make him look even older than his mom. That'll solve everything.
Just, like, turn the tables on her.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, Mom. Sick of your shit. Guess what? I'm your dad now.
Every time we go out... You know what? Actually, come to think of it, that's probably not much better.
No, it's not.
But at least she won't be his wife.
Alright, well...
Yeah, that's a really bizarre
That
situation.
is. I found that question, like, maybe 5 days ago, and just looking through and trying to find it again, there were some really weird ones. Because, like we were saying before we actually started the show, that, like, in these advice boards in Reddit, some of them are, like, genuinely serious, where it's like, I'm having a serious problem and I need actual help.
Mm.
And then some of them are so off-the-wall crazy that you don't even know how to begin tackling something like that.
Right. So, when I was going through, that was really the thing that struck me, is that, oh, it's a sea of people actually wanting to talk about their problems, and me being me, I expected it to be more memes than actual dreams. I actually found something that I think is pretty memey.
Okay.
So, under the r/advice subreddit, I caught a burglar breaking into my house. Now he is tied up in my basement. What do I do?
What?
Nothing else to it. There are... How many comments? 4 comments.
Alright.
So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury of the Midnight Society, I would like to present to you, how do we fix this man's problem?
I
well,
got it. I
okay,
think I've
go
cracked
ahead.
the code. So, like, you could say you could call the police, but the police never do
That was the
anything.
top comment, by the way. Call the police.
Don't call the police. The police never do anything. What you gotta do is you gotta teach him a lesson. And I think he's already tied down, so you gotta tickle him. You gotta make him regret.
That's
Wasn't
true.
like that feeling at all.
Oh.
Or,
God.
even better, recreate that scene from Breaking Bad, where the
I was thinking too.
where the dude is like tied, not even tied, but he's got like that U-shaped thing around a pole, and then you just choke him with it. He already did the disservice of breaking in your house, so the next best thing, teach him a real lesson.
Or,
Like,
or hear me out. You could find the local rabid dog and bring it down to your basement and chain it just far away enough to where you can't bite him. But then he also has that fear that if he extends his leg just a little bit, he'll lose his foot.
Hey guys, serious question. Are we sadists?
Yes.
I think we might be.
Hey, he broke
Well-
into the house. He has to pay the consequences.
I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit turned on right now.
oh, okay,
Yeah, my
well,
consequences
And that's
are
the end of
all
that
by
segment.
nature.
Moving on.
we are so good at this.
Are we?
Yes.
No,
Just keep telling yourself that it's fine.
No, we're not.
Everything's fine. My house is on fire, but it's fine.
If that was going to be the next question, I swear.
If my house is on
First
fire?
thing- if your house is on fire, first thing you do is find a rabid dog.
Oh, shit, my house is on fire. Let me ask Reddit what to do.
Dear Reddit,
They have
my
they
house
have
is currently
all
on
answers.
fire. What do?
Posted to the Donald.
Have you tried turning it off and turning it back on?
Turning off the fire and turning it back on.
Fire and turn it back on.
But then your house is still on fire.
It is.
But if you
But
turn
it
the
might
fire
not.
off. What?
It would be off
maybe your house just needs a firmware update.
Check for viruses.
Use Norton antivirus. Don't use any of that McAfee crap.
Yeah, use AVG. It's free.
Use Malwarebytes with a Y.
Then install NordVPN.
Yes.
Or you could use Protogent antivirus. Hold on.
Is that a thing?
Keep going. Please keep going.
All right.
When I had I used to. Okay, so this is quite a tale. One time, the first laptop I ever got was in 2004, and I had it for maybe 2 months. And then I spilled grape juice on it.
God damn it, Casey.
And so it sat in my house for literal years until one day I decided, you know what? I'm going to clean this thing really well, and I'm going to see if it works. And amazingly enough, it did. It did work perfectly well until it got a virus. And it was the weirdest virus because it tried to install its own antivirus software.
Oh, yeah.
That looked like some sort of Windows thing. All I remember was that it was a picture of an umbrella with the split into quarters with the Windows colors as the quarters. It's really weird. That has nothing to do with anything, but
I kind of missed half of what you said. I got a notification and just lost it from there.
So this thing that you posted here, Dave,
Yes.
Explain.
I would like to present to you Protogen antivirus software. It is a bootleg antivirus software that uses a mascot that's actually ripped off from I believe, a Nick Jr. show or something like that.
Boy.
And it's a little bit of a meme. I highly recommend watching the ad for it because it is top tier. Top tier.
Then you know it's going.
The only thing I know from this is the meme C that I see all over Reddit.
Yes.
Yes, that's all I know.
You are
What?
correct.
Like the meme is just the letter C?
C as in Espanol. C, yes.
Oh, okay.
That kind
Gotcha.
of C.
And it's one of these boyos. So they essentially just took a Nick Jr. character and just color swapped them. And they're like, oh, hey, by the way, this is our mascot for our totally not bootleg virus software.
Ooh.
Please use.
Please
Pretty cool
enjoy.
Sonic fan base.
If your computer starts
Sonic.
acting weird, don't shut it down. Just let it run. It's fine.
Just keep it. It's fine.
It'll be fine eventually.
Yeah. It'll be fine.
Until it's not.
Oh man, if there's one thing we know about the Sonic fandom, it's that palette swaps are all the rage.
Oh, yeah.
I think if we know one thing about the Sonic fandom, it's that your actions have consequences.
Made it to my island.
Oh yeah, that's right. When will you learn?
When will you learn?
Wow, that was actually a really good impression.
When will you learn? So, at some point, I would love to dive into the madness that is Sonichu, and
Oh yeah.
because that is something that I've been keeping my eye on for the past maybe 4 years now.
Is it still being regularly updated?
No. Mr. Christian Sonichu has now he now refers to himself as Christine.
Okay.
And he is claiming that eventually our dimension is going to merge with another dimension that is completely comprised of all fictional characters and NEOCs that anybody has ever made.
Oh no.
And he's doing what most really bad preachers do and keeps setting the date back whenever the apocalypse day doesn't happen. One of these days we're going to have to go deep like deeper into it.
There is a Down the Rabbit Hole episode about Chris Chan.
Indeed, there is.
There is a Sonic
Hey,
Shoe pop thing. Oh wait, no, it might be fan made. Just kidding.
Oh, dude.
Man, just when I
There
thought
was.
pop vinyls were actually cool for once.
Hang on, I'm gonna post it.
Please. If this is real, I'm gonna buy it. Straight up.
So much deep dive into
Oh.
from the
Oh, it didn't
that
show
to,
the
like,
picture.
We alluded to Channel Awesome and stuff.
Oh yeah.
There's tons of topics.
Ooh, boy.
Annette and or
Rolls.
Jess, do you know about the fiasco with Channel
I am
Awesome?
waiting to talk about this.
I haven't heard anything.
The fiasco with what?
Channel Awesome, like Nostalgia Critic and all that.
Nope.
So that picture that you sent might be made up.
It's from him.
Oh.
He has he's been making like custom figures and stuff like that and selling it as revenue, but I believe that is from him, yeah.
Yeah, I realized as I pulled the picture up larger, I was like, oh, that's just colored on.
It's okay though. It looks convincing from a distance.
Just look
that's
at
for
it
sure.
though. Just look at it. It's wonderful.
Stare into its eyes.
Wonderful.
I will not thank you.
Oh, it's wonderful.
So to be incredibly brief, the thing that happened with Channel Awesome, which is a whole bunch of things, but mainly Nostalgia Critic, who for years was, remembering things so you don't have to. Unfortunately, Doug and the other guy...
Doug, Rob, his
Rob.
brother, and Mike Mashad
Yeah.
were the
All
main
decided-
three people called out in the document.
I mean, it really started with their own personal movies that they made, which were A, poorly produced and poorly written, and B, had some really questionable things going on in them.
Yeah, Casey, I would like you to roll the tape back to maybe one of the last episodes that we had. I think at some point in one of the old podcasts, I was talking about how I was like sort of, I don't know, I was starting to feel like the Nostalgia Critic was a little bit cringy in how he was going about his newer episodes.
Yes, I remember you saying that they were having a storyline.
So
Yeah, more skits and everything.
he sort of devolved to copying, doing poor parodies of
I see.
of movies and stuff like that. Now, this was before the document came out, but the document was it was from the majority of the people who were involved with Channel Awesome, and they were levying a bunch of complaints against Doug, Rob, and particularly Mike Mashad for like incompetence and really some sketchy sort of stuff.
Covering up allegations of like sexual harassment and
Yeah, because there was a scene in one of their own like original movies with Winkara and Lindsay Ellis. I think.
yeah.
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 Oh wait,
Winkara.
that name sounds familiar.
Winkara reviews comics and
Yeah, I watch them.
Call Atop the Fourth Wall, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was supposed to be like robot Linkar and basically rape Lindsay. Like that's the impression
Yeah.
that was going to happen.
And they
He's like, I am not comfortable doing this.
toned it
They're
down.
like, well, yeah. They toned it down. They're like, well, make these noises, but still allude to it happening. He's like, I just don't want to. I can't be on film doing that. That's not me.
Yeah.
But all that bullshit just was passed on to all the actors. They were there. They didn't provide them with water, like 16-hour filming days, and not paid. They were paid by getting promoted on the channel.
Right. And
Was the argument.
for those of you who are familiar with the filming of The Room from my boy Tommy Wiseau, some of these allegations are going to sound familiar, like not providing craft services, not providing water to to the actors during their time on set, long hours, stuff like that.
Basically, very hastily thrown together stuff that didn't need to happen.
Mm.
And this isn't even to mention that To Boldly Flee, which is one of the movies we're talking about, it's like 3 hours long.
I think
3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does not nearly need to be that long.
I watched a video today comparing why people still like the AVGN versus disliking Nostalgia Critic.
Okay.
And the big argument, and I saw this in the document too, is it's like, Doug is not nearly as talented as I think he is.
Yeah.
Like, he just doesn't know how to direct or edit, and he's unwilling to learn ways other than his own. And from there, just a bunch of bullshit with the filming and all that probably took off.
The thing about Angry Video Game Nerd is that his formula, like sometimes following a formula doesn't work, but for him it really, really does work. And he has not changed it despite the fact that everything around him has changed.
Well,
Go ahead.
it's because, and this video was talking about this too, he has so many other things he does.
Right.
Like, he does the Monday play with his buddy Mike, the board James, like, well, he's providing so much different content that he can keep that steady. He doesn't feel the need to do, like, mini skits or anything too much, or anything that's too played out that Nostalgia Critic is all about these days.
Yeah, I remember seeing the last Nostalgia Critic I saw. It was a movie that had recently come out, and I guess you just couldn't have the actual movie in it, so they just acted out the scenes with the three of them.
And that's sort of become the precedent now for all of his reviews, whether or not it's, a movie that he can't use clips for, or if it's a nostalgic movie. That seems to be his sort of modus operandi at this point. And it's just not funny, man. I don't know. Maybe I've grown out of the humor, but it just, to me, it comes off as kind of immature and childish and sort of hackneyed.
Yeah, I think
unfortunate, but
he was a pioneer because he's one of the first people to do it or get popular doing that kind of review, but other people just way better at it have started after him. We're used to that kind of quality. It just kind of remained the same, unfortunately.
Yeah. That actually reminds me of something, Rolls, that you shared like weeks ago when we first started doing this. And Annette, I'm interested to hear your take on this.
All right.
I'm familiar with the topic. So, Rolls, you posted a video in our Discord about how this one person is lamenting on the fact that they don't really like Rooster Teeth's stuff anymore. Saying that it felt like their golden age was between the years of like 2010 and 2014, 2015 or so. And it was basically him at the very end saying, like, I've been trying to make this video for like 3 years because I don't know how to handle it. Because I grew up watching this stuff and I loved it so much, and now it just doesn't feel the same anymore. And am I the one who changed, or were they the ones who changed? And eventually he goes and says, no, it was me who changed, because I fell out of favor with them and I stopped watching. And then when I came back to it, it just didn't feel the same anymore.
No, I can relate to that. I have only been watching Rooster Teeth for a couple years. I didn't even know they existed until I started dating Jake. But like, I've been feeling that recently in the beauty community. Like, the drama in there is intense, and I want to be no part of it. And I feel like I can't even watch any of their videos anymore because it's just like, that's all I can think of. And I don't know. It's kind of tasteless.
It's
go ahead.
I've heard that a lot of it revolves around Jeffree Star.
Oh my God.
I'm tangentially know what's sort of going on, but I've heard that Jeffree Star is sort of one of the people that it sort of revolves around.
All the drama in the beauty community, Jeffree is always in it.
Is it because he wants to be part of it, or just because Like, it just happens to be...
No, I think he wants to be part of it. Because, I mean, back in the MySpace days, like...
Oh, yeah!
Jeffree Star was on there, and he was very controversial, very angry, and wanted people's attention. And I don't think that has changed. Even though he has changed, that I think is still ingrained in him. So anytime there's like a little spark of a fight, he's like, do it. And like pushes them over the edge.
So I'm curious, because I don't, obviously, I'm not privy to what goes on in the beauty community, but can you try and like briefly explain what happens, like where the drama originates from and what's going on with all that?
So, Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson were doing a collab together, and at the time, Tati Westbrook, Jeffree, and Shane were like friends. But then Tati is also like really close, like family close with James Charles. And shit happened, and allegedly Jeffree and Shane pushed her to make a video and essentially like aired out the dirty laundry on YouTube instead of like privately, where there was no like backlash to anybody. And then that died down a little bit. Then it kind of came back up again because Tati made another video kind of saying that, you know, like James and I made up. A lot of this kind of stemmed from Jeffree. She's like, that's why Jeffree and I are no longer friends. And I think that the big push for Jeffree was that James is a threat. James is a very high competitor, and being that there are only a few men in the makeup community,
right?
Because James is only, I think he's 20 now, but he rose to the top like real quick. Whereas Jeffree had to work. He worked a long time. And I think he felt threatened. And kind of used friendships to kind of ruin him. But he bounced back, so it's fine.
Okay. I didn't know any of that.
Yeah, this has been like a year or two of this going on.
Jeez.
I'm at the point where I'm like, you know what? I can't watch you guys anymore.
Yeah, when I was watching Shane Dawson's documentary, that's when this stuff was starting to sort of bubble up, and I just sort of didn't really pay attention to it because I thought it was just, you know, needless drama. But from this point onward, though, I feel like it's really sort of radiated out to the majority of the beauty community from what I've seen.
It really has.
And it just seems to be an ongoing issue with it, you know, which is unfortunate, you know, because it really should be about, like, you know, positivity and, you know.
And some people still are. It's just some of these big names that everybody in the beauty community knows. It's just like they've lost a lot of respect from people because they're like, this is petty. This is ridiculous. And then people were angry with Shane because Shane's like, I'm stepping out of the beauty community. And people were like, you were never in it. They were like, you made a collaboration with Jeffree Star and then never did a tutorial on it. It was just a cash grab.
The fact that you included Shane Dawson in that explanation, I was kind of like, is he part of that? I didn't know that.
Yep, he is.
Him making that palette with Jeffree Star, I think, was the thing that sort of drew him into this entire situation. If I have it right.
This all reminds me of... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say that and the first documentary, The Secret Life of Jeffree Star or something.
Right, I forgot about that. Yeah.
And then they made the documentary about the going through the collaboration and everything. But I think that very first one is what initially sparked their close friendship and then everything else.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, this reminds me of what we talked about at the beginning with people just growing out of like Rooster Teeth or another sub community and not liking it anymore. All this infighting sounds like what happens in a community like that when it gets popular and it's like no longer the niche love of people. They feel like the community abandoned them, but really it just got bigger.
Yeah.
And there's more arguing and everything, and it's just like everyone's focused on that instead of running, oh hey, we all love this band or this show or whatever, and let's celebrate that. So it's like, no, you don't understand. You're not a real fan.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Gatekeeping, and that seems to be the thing that ends up,
I'm an old school RT fan.
Yeah. That seems to be the thing that takes down like fandoms and sub communities and stuff like that.
Well, and then when money is involved, then you start to get this competition. Like back in the, I'm sorry?
Shit gets complicated once you start getting money involved.
Yeah, I mean before money came into the beauty community, it was relatively positive. But then when collaboration started happening and people started making their own brands, it is cutthroat. And it's not about the makeup anymore, it's about the money.
That's so upsetting, because I know that just by being aware of culture in general, because like beauty brands and like fashion brands are incredibly competitive.
Oh yeah.
So if I'm sure when Instagram first became like a regular thing that people like to use, like it was super positive and a good time to just like post different things about either using makeup or makeup tutorials or just showing off what you've been doing. And then once like bigger people either rose from that or other corporations were just like, hey, we can get in on this, that's when it started becoming more toxic.
It really did, yeah. And I feel like that's the same for any community. Like,
I was going to say, you just word for word described the rise of YouTube, too.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Just about everywhere you go, it seems there's going to be drama no matter what.
Well, and what Casey was saying about Instagram, my first thought was Facebook. When I first joined Facebook, it was mostly like people sharing their lives and like keeping in touch with people, and now it's just like everyone sharing links, everyone having their own opinion, even if it's blatantly wrong, and people starting fights, and it's like, what happened?
They got rid of games.
Ah, man, it was Farmville all along. Farmville was what was keeping us.
Farmville.
That's
God
what was
damn
keeping
it.
everything civil, and when
They
they
started-
took that
they brought-
away,
There was
They
a
brought
game.
every internet forum site
What?
on the internet together and said, post whatever you want, anytime.
There was a game on Facebook. It was called Pocky Ninja Warriors, and it was Naruto. And oh my god, myself and my friend Ryan, we were like playing this thing every couple hours. We were like taking over villages. We were like doing it and leveling up our people and making ore from the mines. And then they just shut it down. And I was like, this is devastating. I want it
Disney
back.
did the same with this great game me and a few other guys I knew were playing called Marvel Avengers Alliance.
that game was great.
Yeah, and they just like some people who would spend money time to time to help get points to get new characters for their team or whatever. They're like, we're just going to shut down that income altogether, even though we're Disney and we can easily afford it.
Let us not forget Club Penguin.
Oh
Same
yeah.
exact way.
That's the most annoying thing, is when you have games that
Yeah,
have
these things.
microtransactions, and then they just decided to shut it down. So it's like,
Yeah.
Revenue, what's that? Fuck it. Delete button.
oh, I made
I
$1
think it's at
million
least
off this
$50 on
Facebook game?
Marvel.
It's ridiculous.
So, okay, I'm a little bit out of the loop with this. I remember what had happened, but I don't know why Club Penguin shut down.
I'm gonna
Real
turn
talk.
to my good friend Google.
Real talk. I don't know why it shut down either, Casey. It's fine.
Why?
I want to say it was because a lot of trolls got into it, with Habbo Hotel.
Boy, Habbo
You guys
Hotel.
remember Habbo Hotel?
I
And
know what happened to Habbo Hotel.
The great pools closed debacle every year.
Pools closed.
Okay. So, according to an investigation by the BBC, one man involved with the site had been arrested on suspicion of possessing child abuse images. On May 15th, 2020, the site was shut down after complying with the DMCA takedown notice by the Walt Disney Company.
There's CP in the pool. Everybody out.
Oh man, that's way less fun than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
That seems
I
to
really
deal, unfortunately.
I really thought it was like trolls getting in there and like being rude.
I'm sure trolls were in there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because like I remember because I never used it. I was the generation before with Neopets.
Hell yeah.
Yes, I loved Neopets.
But with Club Penguin, I remember seeing a lot of images where people would say things that would get them banned for like rude language, even though it was like not anywhere close to that. Like, they were really, really bunkering down with trying to keep people civil and using like G-rated language.
Not even to mention the get banned from Club Penguin speed run of like 40 seconds.
What? Is that a thing?
Yeah, there was, back when Club Penguin was still alive, there was a speed run category for Club Penguin, which was get banned as fast as possible. It was basically like entirely like menuing essentially, because you had to like make a burner email and then like register with said burner email and then go through all the registration process and like copy and paste the word fuck into the chat and then you get banned straight away.
Knew it.
That's wonderful.
Is there anybody here who doesn't remember the pools closed debacle?
No.
Ooh.
So this is back in the day, and Internet Historian has a great video on this, and he'll probably explain it a lot better than I would. But basically, 4chan decided, you know what? Everybody uses this Habbo Hotel site where people just like it's basically just a giant series of maps where people just hang out and like interact with each other. Basically, like an animated message board, pretty much.
So it was like IMVU.
Yeah, it
that's
was
what
almost
we said.
exactly
Precisely,
like
yeah.
IMVU,
Okay.
except it was way like lower tier. It was like isometric view, and all the characters were pixelated and all that stuff. But 4chan decided, you know what would be hilarious? Everybody dress up as a black person wearing a suit and an afro, and stand in front of the pool so nobody can get in the pool. And they did this every year successfully for like 5 years in a row, on the same day every year. It was ridiculous. Because, as everybody knows, 4chan is good at two things. Number one, ruining people's fun, and two, exposing pedophiles.
I mean, the second one's good. Good for them.
I feel like 4chan is also really good at being pedophiles.
Well, yeah, also that.
Valid.
4chan is like the ultimate in lawful evil. Like, we're gonna do horrible things, like with freaking Shia LaBeouf and He Will Not Divide Us, and 4chan like figuring out where his flag was, based off of airplanes.
You know, it would be wonderful if that sort of like intense research was put to something that might be productive to the human race, but instead, as an internet going society, we decided, fuck it, we're gonna mess with Shia LaBeouf instead of like, I don't know, maybe finding a killer or something like that, or I don't know, maybe finding some sort of like cure to cancer. Nah, we're just gonna fuck with Shia LaBeouf.
Well, that's what you gotta do. You have to make 4chan think that the cure for cancer is funny.
Ooh.
And then, once they realize that the cure for cancer is funny, they will put, like, no holds barred, firing on all cylinders, trying to find a cure for cancer.
So what you're saying is we need to do a psyops on 4chan.
You got it.
Because I'm down
Let's
with that.
infiltrate 4chan.
This is not going to go well. This is the way that our podcast dies, Casey. But
We had a good run of 5 weeks.
yeah, good.
Nice knowing you guys.
GG, good luck.
Good night and good luck.
We could start a Facebook page making a joke, and then everyone takes it seriously, like raiding Area 51.
Listen, man, I look back on that fondly, mainly because of the fucking situation that we're in right now. Like,
there's an image.
Now, I bet people could raid Area 51.
Yeah. I mean,
there's an image.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Of a military.
I don't recommend it.
No.
But I'm thinking it's more possible now than it was a couple months ago.
Where the commander is pointing to his troops. The Naruto walk.
Oh no.
The Naruto run.
That was my favorite.
It's so good.
They do this now. They think it goes faster. Look out for this. If anyone starts running up the mountain with their arms behind their back.
Real talk, guys. Agnes on my Animal Crossing island runs like that, and I can never catch her.
Bro.
You have Agnes?
Dizzy kind of does it as well.
Do they?
Dizzy? Yeah. No, wait, no, he does more of an airplane.
Oh, okay. No, Agnes 100% Naruto runs.
I've seen it.
I feel like there was one that did do that in my village, or my island. What?
Real talk, though, I have not played Animal Crossing in weeks now.
Filthy heathen.
I know. They're all gonna hate me whenever I open it up again.
No one's gonna be there.
They're all gonna have left.
Just the
You're
deserted
the one
island
thing
again.
keeping this island together, and you destroyed us. You betrayed us.
You ruined it!
I mean, that's honestly the reason why I never picked up Animal Crossing until now. It's because I hate that feeling of guilt.
Yeah. I mean, New Horizons is a lot... Like, they've been getting progressively better with that when people... Or I guess when Nintendo realized people were just seeing this as, like, a sort of life simulation game, and they didn't want their neighbors to, like, shout at them whenever they do something wrong. So they've just made it, like... Even in New Horizons, like, when a villager gives you a gift, they're just like, oh, it's okay if you just sell it. I won't mind, you know? Like,
Oh, okay.
Everything's very, like, sort of open-minded like that.
They gave everyone Xannies. Straight up. Everyone's like super chill now.
Oh no, there was a villager in my campsite yesterday. His name was Cat. I was trying to recruit him so I could kick out a different villager. But I was talking to him, and I was like going through the process for so long, and I kept losing the stupid card game. And I got to the point where I was like, you know what? You're kind of mean. I don't like you. So
I swear to God, that card game is rigged.
It's got
Like, it decides whether you win or not before you give an answer. I swear.
It's bad, man.
And then when you actually finally convince this person to move in, they'll be like, oh, hey, I'll move in, only if you kick out your absolute favorite villager.
It's
that I
never the
chose at
one
random."
that you want, and I don't understand.
through this with
Never fucking Rodney, you ass, get off my island.
I
Oh,
did this with Anka. Anka was in my campsite last week, and I was trying to kick out Pom Pom because I hate her so much. And I spent like a good hour and a half, 2 hours, just restarting my game every time she chose someone I didn't want to move out or that wasn't Pom Pom. And I like groaned, and Jake was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm still doing this." He's like, "Still?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm very dedicated. I don't like this villager. She needs to go."
I haven't.
Remember that whole... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, you're good, man. What?
Remember that whole thing about how when COVID really became like a big deal and people were having to like be out of a job and were struggling to pay rent and all
You got
Yes.
this.
What is the word for the people who own the apartments?
Landlord.
Landlords.
Yeah, the landlords were like,
Yeah.
nah, you still gotta pay rent even though you can't have a job. We're acting the exact same way with villagers. No, I don't like you because you're ugly. Go away.
See, that's not even about money. That's not even about, oh, you can't pay your rent, therefore you have to leave. No, you didn't do anything wrong. I just hate you.
You just look ugly as sin. Get off my island. I don't appreciate you calling out my hypocrisy, alright?
And don't worry about me burying my bells. You don't have to ask me about it. You didn't see anything.
It's my money, and I need it in like 4 days when it becomes a fucking $30,000 tree. God damn.
And then you go and bury more. And then it's like, do you really make enough profit?
Tara and I both were playing regularly until we realized that planting an entire orchard of fruit trees was a terrible idea. Because even though you can get a lot of money from it, after you've paid off all of your debts, money becomes essentially meaningless, but you still have all these fruit trees. And every 3 days, we would both collectively just be like, oh, it's fruit day. I hate fruit day.
That's why you
Just
just
gotta
have
ask
a couple
for one.
trees.
Why can't we just go with the ways of Viva Pinata, where you just hire people to harvest your fruit for you?
See,
Or-
that's what Animal Crossing is missing.
Real talk. What Animal Crossing is missing that I really need it to get on is being able to craft multiple things at once.
Oh my God,
Why do I have to
yes.
stand there and craft 20 freaking fish bait?
Listen, man. You know how Nintendo is. You know that they're going to, like, almost make it, but not quite. There's always going to be something stupid. Like, it's just the way that they are. You know? No, but I completely get it, though. Like, it is annoying as sin.
Fish
And
bait's
then not being
even
able to,
really
like,
worth it.
what's up?
Fish bait's really not even that worth it.
If you're trying to catch a rare fish, it is, like, I'm working on my Critterpedia, and, I need the Napoleon fish, and it won't seem to spawn, so I have to make bait and try to lure it
I
out.
want you to know, I spent 3 days straight trying to catch a Napoleon fish, and then I caught one, and then I was like, all right, yeah, I caught the Napoleon fish. Now I just need the ocean sunfish, and I need to catch things with fins. And then one day, Sky asked me to catch her an olive flounder, and then I caught 3 Napoleon fish. Like, what?
Oh,
Oh, no.
that is, not fair.
It's really not. I don't understand.
That was me with oarfish, though. Like, I would get oarfish like it's nobody's business.
Yeah.
And
I hope you
then,
catch more fish.
hey! With whale sharks, they're supposed to be, like, the rarest of the season, and I've caught, like, 10.
Rolls, how do you feel about this conversation we've been having for the last 10 minutes that you know nothing about?
I'm playing, so just been listening politely.
That's all you gotta do.
I just see you over here, and I can just imagine your inner monologue is just radio static.
Just the dial-up noise.
I think that we've pretty much reached the end of this episode.
This is the zenith. We can go no further. Do it down, Casey.
We can go no higher than where we're at right now.
I have
So
a story to share for next week.
you can share it now if you want to.
Okay. Well, so, fun story. This goes over, like, several weeks at work. So the first thing was I had to go in to work on Saturday to pull out plates and make sure they were clean from bacteria. And I'm sitting there reading the plates, and all I hear is, and I look up, and there's this massive wasp hitting itself against the lights. So I was like, fuck this shit, I'm out. I read all the plates, like, really, really quick, and left. Well, so then Monday morning, I, like, went in, and I was, like, looking for it, and it wasn't there. And I was like, where did it go? like, I hope I find it dead somewhere. So, this had to have been, like, several days later. My coworker and I were in the lab. I turned around to grab something, and I looked back, and this freaking wasp is on the incubator about 2 feet away from my coworker, who is horrified. I was like, oh my god, Sarah. And she looked, she was like, oh my god. And so, like, she ran to the other end of the lab. And I called one of the production guys, and I was like, Todd, there's a massive wasp in here. And he killed it with his bare hands.
What?
Oh my god, Todd, what a legend.
I know. He, like, whacked it. He probably whacked it, like, 5 times until he got it down and just squished it. And, like, I'm talking, this thing was huge. Like, I'm talking its body was probably, like, 3-4 inches. But then, so that's the first thing. The second thing that happened is I was in the lab. This was before Sarah got there. And I walk in, and there's this massive bug. And, like, it had, like, mandibles on the front, so I was like, oh, like, you're weird. Like, you're gonna pinch something and eat it. So I squished it, and it had, like, that really gross, like, sound. And I looked it up later, and I found out it was a carpenter ant. So I was like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
And then a few days later, I found a wood roach.
Ooh.
And I was like, dear God, are they, like, invading the woodwork? I haven't seen anything since. But then the most recent thing was this week or late last week. I turn around, and there's this huge spider, like probably a wolf spider, just standing in the doorway of the lab. And I was like, Sarah, oh my god. And she looks, and again runs to the other end of the lab. And I was like, I take spiders outside, but this one's too big for me. I'm like, it's gonna jump at me, and I'm gonna lose my shit.
Someone get Todd.
I think Todd was out that day, or Todd was already at lunch or something. So I was,
Damn it, man, you're no help to us.
So I called out for Andrew, who's our warehouse guy, and he's known as Wildcat. So I'm like, Andrew, Wildcat. He's so it started out as Wild Card at a previous job because 3 of my coworkers worked at a different company together. So they called him Wild Card, but then something happened and it upgraded to Wild Cat. He loves cats. So I'm like, Andrew, Wildcat! And he wasn't answering, so I'm like, shit, he's probably up in the office area. So I email him, and I'm like, there's a spider in the doorway. We're trapped. Send help. And so we're stuck in there. It's lunchtime. We're hungry. And we're like, we can't leave. And Sarah screams that it was moving, and she didn't say which direction, so I thought it was coming more into the lab, where in fact it was going out, but it was still in the doorway. So Andrew finally comes with this massive box, and, like, scoops it up and puts it outside, and then he replied to my email with a cat dressed as Spider-Man.
Well...
But there are no other bugs anywhere else. It's always the lab.
I find it funny that each separate occasion has been a different insect and or arachnid.
Yes! I don't like why. We've got the bacteria bugs, we've got the fungi bugs, and we got the bug bugs.
They're planning.
They are! Oh my god, what if that friggin' spider, like, got into the fridge and got into, like, listeria or something and, like, mutated? And then spiders are now carriers.
Arachnophobia. You guys see arachnophobia? Because this is how arachnophobia starts.
Starts?
I'm relatively sure. Mutant spiders, man. I'm not here for it.
See, now it's a genuine thing to fear.
What, spiders merged with listeria?
Yes.
Plague spiders.
Spiders. You can't get spiders near wisteria, or else...
Or else they merge. But then it
All
becomes
right.
a part of their genetics, so then when they have babies, all of them are listeria babies. And then we all die.
This is the end game. This is how it
This
ends.
is the future. Just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, and we have mutant spiders marching on us.
This is the bad place.
Really is.
This has been the bad place.
Have you
This is
seen
the bad
2020?
timeline.
This is the bad place.
It's
Honest,
called 2020 because we have to look back on our lives and remember the good times.
if
Hey,
mutant spiders were to happen, I honestly wouldn't be shocked. It would just be another check on Apocalypse Bingo.
Listen, man. It's no holds bar territory at this point.
Really
What
isn't.
happens.
Aliens are
Wow.
gonna come and be like, "What the fuck is this?" and just leave.
That's the end game. That's the end game. Is the aliens. Like it's coming, man. I'm telling you.
December 2020.
Yep, it's happening.
On that
Rated R, that's
cheerful
Friday.
note, on that cheerful note, we're gonna end off this episode. What you guys are very good at helping me make this podcast exactly what I said it should be, in which we get off topic, but we'll get there eventually. Because my God, every episode I'm like, how did we even get to this part?
Follow the chain of events, but then something happens and I lose it, and then it's like, okay, we went from here to here. There was something in the middle that linked them, and I don't remember what it was.
We
There
need to
you go.
create like a conversation map for each episode.
was
I guess
just
so.
about to suggest.
Somebody get on that.
Wait. So then, like in court where they
What?
have the transcriber, someone should be transcribing this, and then anytime a new topic starts, it's a new paragraph. Yo, we'd have a book about nothing and everything at the same time.
And that's what this show is all about.
Whoop whoop!
So for myself, and Rolls, and Annette, and Dave, and Jess, I have been your host, Casey. This has been the Let's Regroup podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and YouTube. And if you have any questions or amazing queries from different Reddit website, Reddit subreddits for advice, or maybe any that you have yourself, we'll throw it into our excellently crafted Unexperts segment. But anyway, this has been the Let's Regroup podcast. You're welcome, Internet.
Yeah.